Hello and welcome back. I'm now going to be showing you how to make the ears. The wool I've chosen for this is Woolcraft ARAN yarn that you can get that we get in the UK at Aldi. There we go. Here's the extra information. It is a 75% acrylic and 25% wool, 400 grams, about 800 meters approximately. It's also a bit hard to see here, but it's only a wash at 30, so this might be a bit of an issue, but hopefully not. Then for that was for the white, but in this case I'm using beige because I've run out of white. And then for the pink, I have picked up my Woolcraft ARAN. Now this does feel a little bit thicker, but for where we're actually using it, it's not actually a bad idea to go a little bit thicker if needs be. Now on this one, it is 100% acrylic. There we go, and there's all the information there. Now ignore what recommended thing it says, because I'm going to be using my old faithful 4mm again. Right, so without making you wait too long, let's get on with it. Okay, so to start, we will place a slip knot on your hook. Then you will be chaining 17. Once you have your chain of 17, we will be putting a single crochet in the second V from the hook. Now we will be doing exactly the same for the rest of the V's all the way along. At the end of this row, you will have a stitch count of 16. If you pause me here, I'll meet back with you in a moment. Now we're just coming up to the end of row 1 now. For your last stitch, you're looking to feel for the knot and the V, the very last V before the knot. That is where you place the last stitch. Now we are going to chain 1, turn our work, okay, and you go second chain in from the hook, back in, do a single crochet and carry on doing that single crochet all the way to the end of the row, and I will meet you back in a moment. Right, so we're just coming to the end of the row. You should have a stitch count of 16. We will now chain 1 and turn our work. Now we are going to be decreasing at this point, so we are going to pop your hook in through the first hole, pull up a loop, go into your second stitch and pull up a loop, then chain over, hook over and pull through all 3. Now onto your next one. We will just do a normal stitch all the way along until you get to your last two remaining stitches. I am now at the point where I'm at my last 2 remaining stitches. So I put my hook in, I pull up a loop, I go into the last stitch, pull up a loop, hook over and pull through the 3. That is the end of row 3. Here's a cheeky trick for you. Before you go on to row 4, get yourself a stitch marker and place it at the other end, like that. Okay, so now we chain 1, you turn your work and you single crochet for the entire row. Your stitch count at the end of this row should be 14. With a chain 1 and a turn. Now this end, when you hit this, is your decrease end. Let's decrease, and then we'll work our way along. So you'll have done 10 stitches along, and now we do the decrease. There we go, decrease and chain 1 and turn. Now we stitch all the way along. For a count of 12. Chain 1 and turn. Right, onto this row, we're back up at the marker, so that's your decrease stitch. Now we work out single crochet all the way along until you get to your last 2. On your last 2, you do your decrease stitch, then you chain 1 and you turn, and back into the first stitch there. Now we do single crochet all the way along. that row is a count of 10. So then we chain 1 and turn. Now onto this row, we're decreasing again, so it's the first 2 stitches, you pull up a loop and then you pull through all 3. Now we carry on going along with our single stitch. For a count of 6. Then you decrease, chain 1 and turn. Now crochet along for a count of 8. Chain 1 and turn. And we're back onto our decrease. Now stitch along for a count of 4. Now decrease, chain 1 and turn. Now you're back onto your single stitch. You go along. For a count of 6. Chain 1 and turn. Now we are decreasing again. So let's pull up a loop in those first 2 stitches. Pull through all 3. Now carry on single crocheting for 2. Now pull up a loop in the next 2 stitches, hook over and pull through, and then chain 1 and turn. Now we'll crochet back along for a count of 4. Chain 1 and turn. Now for this row we will be doing 2 decreases. So you pull up your loops, hook through, pull up 1, pull up 2, pull through all 3, chain 1, turn. Now we're going to place 2 stitches along this way, chain 1 and turn, and we've got our last decrease now. Did I catch that? Let's give it another go. Yep. Chain 1 and pull up a strand. Doesn't have to be a lot because this is just for weaving in. There we go. Just tighten your knot up, then weave in your ends, and you're going to do this 4 times, 2 in white and 2 in the pink. Then once you've done those, you come back and we'll I'll show you the next step of the video, which is joining them. Hello and welcome back. Now you have your 2 triangles. We'll be placing them together. So you place the pink on top of the white, pop your hook through the first hole on both, which is right by the knot, if you can see it there. Now at this point we will now be using 2 strands of ARAN, so this is going to get tight. And it will appear quite bulky, but that's what we want because it will give us some definition on the outside of the ear. So we will Now to start, you pull through and chain over for your first stitch. Okay, so back in again, sorry about this, back over again, pull through, do your first stitch. Now if you look here, you will have your row, your next row, so you poke through and you match it up with the back end and pull through and complete a stitch. Now we're going to do this all the way along. You may have to wiggle your needle a little bit, your hook a little bit to get through. And we'll go all the way up the side. And you just keep going until we get to the top stitch. Just give me a moment. There we go. Now once you're up to the top, we are going to do 3. Which will help us turn the corner like that, and then we go into our next stitch and we go down the other side. And just repeat that all the way to the bottom. I'll meet you back in a minute. Okay, here we go, we're coming in to the last stitch. There you go, if you have a look at it now, it looks quite nice. It's making the pink bounce out a little bit, but not too much. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now we're going to go back into that first stitch. Now we are going to do a stitch all the way up to the top again. I will meet you at the top. Okay, I'm now up at the top. Now on your first set of triangles that you're going to so you've placed 2 stitches in the top. Now we are going to carry on back down to the bottom. I'll see you there in a moment. Now I've made it down to the bottom. What I've also done is sewn in my ends, and now what we're going to do is we're going to surface crochet along the back of the white section. Now to do that, you place your hook through both parts of the fabric, you pick up your stitch and you slip it through. Through both parts of your fabric, hook over, pull through and slip that straight on. And we're going to do that all the way along because it gives you a nice little ridge to be able to sew into. Right, I'll see you at the other end. Right, I am now coming back to my last stitches. Okay, so there we go, one, and stick it in the bottom. So you'll have placed one in the bottom of your first row that you did going all the way around, and now the second one you'll be popping in just after it, and there we go. Now hook over, pull through and snip off. Now make sure you leave yourself a nice tail for sewing in. There we go, and that is what it looks like from the front. So it gives it a little, by doing that second ridge, it gives you a bit of definition. Don't worry about this line here because that's where you're going to be sewing into with your white, so you won't see it. Right, I will see you later for the next part of the video.